Hello and welcome to the LTN Pulse, a show where we talk to LTN staff, partners, community members, high-level volunteers about what they are reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. I'm your host, Luke. I am the Director of Missions at Love Thy Nerd, recruiting, training, and leading teams across the U.S. And I just started playing Overwatch for the first time in a very long time last night. Because I got a new hard drive and I have room for games now. And I'm joined by Michael.
Hi, I am Michael. I'm a podcast producer, a Twitch streamer, and lately I have been playing that new-ish, I want to say, MMORPG Throne and Liberty, that free-to-play one. It's pretty good. For free-to-play, why not? I'm into it. I'll keep playing it. Don't need to spend any money on it.
I love free games.
Yeah, right?
And this week, we have a very special guest, Matthew Warmbier. Perhaps you've heard of him.
I just feel like you glossed over the fact you went back and played Overwatch when you got a new hard drive. Like, out of all games in the hello everyone, I'm Matt. Out of all games in the entire world, like, you're like, I got a new hard drive with more space. How about Overwatch?
It's
out of all games.
You're right.
I went back and played the DOS version of Doom. Really flex on it.
You may as well. Like, that's
Have
what
you guys heard of Pac-Man?
Yeah, I'm a Pac-Man fan myself. Yeah. Well, hey, congratulations on that new hard drive.
Thanks.
How's it run? Like, must be really smooth. Overwatch
Flawless.
1 or 2.
It works great. It's an M.2, 2 terabyte hard drive, so I got plenty of space for my games and podcast recordings. So
humble brag.
Congratulations.
I installed it myself, so it'll probably catch fire at any point in time. But Matt, thanks for being on this episode. This was kind of last minute, but you have a lot of cool things
chatting about it a little bit, like here and there for a little while.
It was bound to happen one of these days.
I was in my brain that it was gonna happen, and like here I am. I made it.
Well,
Thanks
welcome aboard. Aboard? Do you come aboard?
Yeah.
Welcome aboard this show. What do you do for LTN? What is the day in the life of Matthew Warmbier look like?
I'm the Chief People Officer. Now, I've also been a lot of other positions. I was Luke's job. I was community guy. I was streamer dude. These are all official titles. Make sure you write these down. So currently, thanks for writing those down. Yeah. Currently, Chief People Officer. Really, I'm just kind of I'm overseeing both people inside and outside of LTN. As far as like our staff and our community, looking for ways to love them, pray for them, befriend them. And then I go to a lot of the conventions across the U.S. and now world, and we might talk about that later, just looking to do the same things. Bubba, our CEO, calls me a professional best friend, like where I just want, like, I make people feel included and welcomed and loved. And it's not like, that sounds really weird, but that's like the overview of it.
I mean, it's not weird when you think about like what our ministry is. It's loving people, showing up, like providing what people need. Like as LTN, we search for that need, whether it's a convention or what have you. And everyone needs a best friend.
Right. And it's me, like, kind of just when someone just comes into my mind, like, I'm going to reach out to that person and just see how they're doing. How can I pray for them? I really want them to feel like they're seen and loved and included. Whether that, again, like I said, like whether that's staff or our volunteers or just someone in the community or someone we've met at a gaming convention. Because oftentimes people feel like they're forgotten about. And it's part of my job, and I'm trying to build a team here to do the same, just to reach out to people and say, hey, I see you and you matter and I love you. So
what's some of your primary ways of doing that? Is it over Discord? Are you connecting with people on, I don't know, Twitch? Are you sending them emails, handwritten letters?
It's like a carrier pigeon.
Dang it.
That's first off. No, it's typically Discord or Facebook Messenger. I'll do Twitch sometimes, but with Twitch, I find that I have a really hard time sitting and watching. And that sounds terrible as someone who like sometimes streams on Twitch. Like, it's just hard for me. We like you sent me that list of like what you've been watching and reading and playing. I was like, gosh, I haven't been watching anything. Like, I just have a really hard time sitting and doing stuff like watching a show, listening to a podcast. So like, what do I do when I don't like? I'll play a video game sometimes. Like I'm really invested in one right now. It's not Overwatch, spoiler. But like oftentimes, like even right now, I'm just listening to music. I just really like music, and I listen to a lot of music. We talked a little bit about this before we started recording. So like that's like my vein there. And then if I reach out to someone, it's going to be Discord or Facebook Messenger or a text or email sometimes. People don't really check emails. It's just mostly spam. I understand.
And since I've been here, like around LTN, I know like everyone's roles in a small organization tend to change from time to time, but you've kind of carried that through no matter what position you've been in. And I remember, I mean, like you said, conventions too, just like that personal relation, in-person relationship from time to time, like show to show, you see people show after show.
Yeah.
Different states across the country or overseas.
Yeah. Remembering people, like that's huge. Remembering names and little things about their life that they either mentioned like offhand or in passing, or like maybe you had a legit deep conversation about it. Like people really want to be known. And for me, like I have a really just kind of stupid memory for small details about people and paying attention. So, yeah, it just like for me, it comes natural. Like, hey, I remember you said that your grandmother passed away, when I saw you 3 months ago. How are you all doing with that? And so just making them feel seen and loved and heard and cared for. And I think it goes a long way when you just remember little things about them, especially their name. Like names are important. I used to be really bad at names, and there's something that like just switched over in me, and I don't know what it was. But I'm a lot better now. Right, Lucas?
Yeah, teach me your ways, because I'm bad.
I don't know. You just have to like, it is helpful when you have someone there with you who'd be like, you can kind of bounce names off each other. Like, okay, here's what I think it might be. And I don't know, it eventually comes. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've definitely met people that have that gifting like yours, where they just remember the most random or small details about people, but it helps them connect extremely well, which makes them really suited for roles like that. And I feel like, I don't know if it's like just something you're born with, or Holy Spirit coming over you.
We'll call it, I was going to call it trauma, but I'll call it Holy Spirit too. I think it probably is part of my upbringing, having to remember things, but I think also like God uses the things that might not have been great in the world to bring him glory. So I won't call it trauma. That's bad. We'll call it, admit not bad. It's not totally true. Yeah. Sorry, that took a dark turn. Read my memoirs. You can get into my inside story there.
Now, speaking of your traumas, your childhood traumas, let's dig into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
No, let's hop into a more positive note here and talk about what have you been up to lately? What do you want to start with? Reading, watching, playing?
Let's see. Let's see here. Let's lean on back. Okay. Well, I think we're going to talk about this later. I'll briefly mention that I was in Europe for 2 weeks earlier this month, late last month, a little bit of both, at Essen, Spiel, and a few other places. But while I was there, and this bummed me out because while I was there, the new Zelda game released, Echoes of Wisdom. And for the past, I'll say basically since I had children, every Zelda game that came out, we would have a Zelda themed party. We would get the game late. If it were released late, come home and we'd bake pretzels in the shape of different Zelda, the Triforce, swords, whatever. But it didn't happen because I was over there. So my kids went and got it at what was supposed to be the midnight release. They lied to us, and there was no midnight release. Got it the next day, and they played it while I was gone. And my second son actually beat it while I was away. So I've been spending a ton of time since coming back, just trying. Like he and I go back and forth. Like he is currently he has one more Zelda game beaten than I do, and it's this one.
Oh,
so I'm not trying to like rush through it, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't know, Luke, you don't play a ton of Zelda games, if any.
I like Zelda.
Michael, do you play Zelda games?
The
More of an Overwatch 2
ones.
guy. Yeah.
Tunic. I like that Zelda game.
Tunic?
Okay, yeah. Well, anyway,
We were
I
a
love them.
Sega and Sony household growing up, so I missed out on a lot of the classic Zelda moments.
We were a Nintendo and Sony household, so that's where I've stuck. But anyway, I've been playing a ton of that, and I'm really enjoying it. And if you miss the classic Zelda feel of like dungeon crawler, puzzle solving, like this is the one for you. Don't get hung up on it's not Link, it's Zelda, because it feels the same. It's
yeah,
wonderful.
Zelda's a girl in this one.
Yep, Zelda is a girl. In this one. Yep, good. Yep. So I've been playing a lot of that, and that's been really good. I'm probably just over halfway.
So nice though, because I do like the old Zelda games. That's
Now
Like Link to the Past vibes.
yeah,
like the
absolutely.
open world.
The
New open world ones are so daunting to me.
This the map in this one, I'm not going to spoil it too much here. I don't think the map in this one is very reminiscent of Link to the Past.
Ooh.
Like where things are located, and it's altered a little bit, but they took everything that was good about those old games like Link to the Past, and they combined them with what is good about, there's a lot of good about the new games. What's good about the new games, it's like this perfect mashup. Like I don't think you didn't play Tears. Have you played Tears of the Kingdom? Either of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of like building and crafting in that. And this one doesn't have building and crafting, but it has like the same game breaking mechanics where you're creating echoes of items from other parts of the game. So I might have an echo of a bed, and now I can go, like I can climb this mountain because I can place these beds all the way up. Or you can get echoes of other villains, like bad guys, and bring them out, and they will fight for you. Which is really cool. So you do almost no fighting as Zelda. You just either bring out these baddies, or you find a creative way to defeat them.
Okay.
So it's very.
And so
very
I'm guessing you're that's what's blocking you from advancing in some cases, because you can't fight unless you have that echo. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So it's really great. So I've been playing that like since I've been back. I've been back just over a week from Germany.
Welcome back.
And so, some nights I will stay up a little bit too late playing in bed, and then I have to put it down and go to sleep. So,
dude, on this last trip I was on, I took my Switch, and I've been same as last episode. I've been on a Stardew Valley kick, and there was one night where I like brought up a show on my phone, and I was just playing Stardew Valley, and I looked at the clock at one point, and it was 1:30 a.m. and I'm like,
what is wrong with me?
I've made a huge mistake.
How's your town though?
It's thriving.
Good.
It's
How many golden clocks do you have?
0. And I was talking to Al, who is our resident professional when it comes to Stardew.
Chill master, yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, I have 3 million. I have 3 million gold or monies, and I'm saving for this clock because I want to flex. But there's these other things like the little teleport wand that will teleport me back home. And he's like, get that stuff first. So I spent my 3 million and got some teleporting.
Is the clock 5 million?
It's 10.
10 million.
And Al has 2 of them.
Yeah. Good luck.
See, okay, so this is interesting about the golden clock. I was unfamiliar with the golden clock mechanic, despite having put probably several hundred hours into Stardew, because I recently found this out because I talked to my wife about it. She's put several hundred more than I have. Even she's our home's resident Stardew expert. Yes. She's like, yeah, I don't like the golden clocks because I like the changing of seasons. I like the passage of time and having to take care of my farmland and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, I get that. But that's why I'm not familiar with it. She was the one managing all the farm stuff. I'm the fisher guy, the go into the caves guy.
Yeah.
She's the
Everyone
one
knows
who
her role.
is really making the money with her wines and cheeses.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'm doing all the stuff she didn't want to do. But yeah, this golden clock.
Maybe
thing
one
is
day.
so foreign. One day I can have a farm of my own. No.
But yeah, the moral of the story was I stayed up way too late playing that game.
Yeah.
While I was traveling. So
sometimes it's okay. Sometimes, right? Sometimes it's fine.
I got up the next morning. And
Yeah. See, that's the key right there. You got up. You had the sense of responsibility that compelled you to get out of bed. Congratulations.
Yep, I tended to my farm and did an audio install all in one day. So
I was on one of those trips.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's a huge mistake.
Yep.
Nah, you're fine.
Well, let me wake up 4 hours later and pull some cable.
You did it.
I did. It
You're
worked.
fine. Do it again.
How far do you think you're in Zelda? Right now? How close to
probably
the end do you
just
think
over
you're?
halfway, I would think. I don't have the full map uncovered yet. I'm trying to with these types of games, I look for everything. Like I don't go from A to B. I just it's A to Z and then all the way around and then to B. So there's not a real rush. I know I will beat it. Yeah, and I'm just going to enjoy the journey because we probably won't get another Zelda game until the Switch 2, which has a code name that was leaked. What is it, Oasis or I don't know. Switch 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Is it next year or is it
probably
2020 question mark?
It's probably next year, except Nintendo just won't even they're hardly admitting that there is one that's coming. They're just kind of and you might hear something about it, but we're not going to give you any specifics or gameplay. And we're
because the Switch is 8 years old.
Yeah,
9?
Wild.
Yeah,
it's I think it's 7 or 8. Yeah, somewhere in there
with some minor hardware updates to it along the years. I still have the original.
Same.
I got a Switch day one.
Same,
and it is still alive and kicking.
Wow, how are your joysticks?
Replaced.
Yep.
When I got these, for those of you watching on video here, I got these Zelda Joy-Cons when Skyward Sword came out, and I've had zero issues. They fixed something. So keep it up, Nintendo.
Nice. I believe I have the original Joy-Con still on it. I just replaced the little joysticks.
I also did that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ours is only a couple of years old, so it hasn't quite hit that potential for driftiness.
Yeah,
there's still hope.
There's still hope. Maybe they figure.
But there's all the resources now. To replace them and do the switch, I think you can get Hall effect joysticks now as replacements. So
they'll fix them for free right now. I think still.
Nintendo will?
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. Sony. You got to send it to Sony.
Sony. Yeah, just send it to an address.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
They'll give you a quick address to send them to. No questions asked.
I voided all warranties on one set because I replaced the shells with the translucent purple.
They're
just
cool.
For a throwback to my first Game Boy.
Yeah. Nice.
Bring back the translucent tech.
Right?
They will. One day.
It's right around the corner.
I really think it is.
You playing anything else, Matt? Just Zelda? Little Marvel Snap, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Marvel Snap. Doing okay. I'm sitting at 83 on my goal to 100 today. At the time of this recording, they just released a new game mode called Velocity, I think. Where it really speeds the game up. Have you tried it at all, Luke?
I have not tried it yet. I haven't played since before my trip. I've hardly played this
So
season.
it's only 3 turns, and you draw 2 cards, and they give you start with 2 cards, you draw 2 cards, they give you random energy, and every turn you get 2 cards and a random energy.
Dang.
And it's just quick, no snapping. You're either going to win or lose.
Wow.
and you get velocity. And if you get these, I think that's what it's called, velocity. And you get a new card that you can only get by playing this mode.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not velocity. Scratch that. Go back when you're editing this, like just change it to high voltage every time. Okay. I'll say it a few times.
Okay. Yeah.
High voltage. High voltage.
Hey, editor. Yeah, we definitely
high voltage.
We'll do an AI replacement.
Yeah, it's fine.
AI Matt.
High voltage. There we go. So I've been playing that. Yeah, that's pretty much Marvel Snap and Zelda have been my things. I'm still like really trying to play college football with some people. I have a couple different leagues, but I came back and just kind of fell off and haven't played as much as I was before. So,
because you and Bubba were playing that for a bit, right?
We would play here and there. I'm in a league with two of my friends from Michigan that we used to all play together with the old game when it way back when. And then the three of us started another league with some of their friends. So we have one, and yeah, there's like 7 of us in this other league. So
nice. Who's your team?
In one of them, I am Boise State, the Broncos on the blue turf. And then the other one, I am the Louisville Cardinals.
Oh. I've heard of that place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any of those close to your heart for any given reason?
You're like opening like a whole can of worms here. Let's hear. So back in the early to mid 2000s, I used to play NCAA football with my college friends, and even when I was in high school, and I would always pick U of L, the Cardinals. I'd never been to Louisville. I didn't know anything about the school. I didn't know anything about the city. I would just pick them because like they weren't too bad, but they weren't too good. They were like a pretty good middle of the road team. And so like year after year, I would pick U of L. Like that was my team. I would create a coach. It was Coach Cisco. Yes, the rapper. This guy with silver hair. He was my coach every year. I don't know why. It just was. His first name was Coach. His last name was Cisco. And so like for years, that was just my team. Got married, would still play occasionally. And then we were living in this dying industrial town. It was where we went to college at Anderson, Indiana. There's a university there. And there's just nothing going on. Like graduation happened. Friends all were moving away. We didn't really have very good jobs. So my wife was like, we should move. Where do you want to move? And she's like, I don't want to move to Michigan. That's where I'm from. And I said, well, I don't want to move to Evansville. That's where her parents live. And I said, well, how about Louisville? And she's like, why? And I was like, I don't know, actually. Why not?
They got this very, very middle of the road football team. You're gonna love it.
They're not too far. Yeah, they're not too bad. They're not too good. It's gonna be our city. So and in that time, I had driven through the city one time at 2 a.m. and they had a purple bridge, and that's all I knew about the city. Purple bridge and Cardinals football.
Which bridge was purple?
One of the 2nd Street or. One of it used to be purple. I don't know if it's purple lights. It wasn't purple color. It was purple lights. Ooh. So I think it's still purple. Anyway, I was like, what do you think? And she's like, well, I guess I can go to school there. Is there a seminary? And I was like, I don't know. Look, we'll check it out. So she ended up saying yes. And we moved to Louisville for the seminary and the U of L Cardinals.
Of course.
So. Obviously. Yes.
And we lived in Louisville for many moons, 16, 17 years, 15 years. And then we moved to just across the river. So it's just like right there still. So
it's basically Louisville
Without
without the football team.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's still in our hearts. So,
that's right. Cause y'all live pretty close together.
We're 3 blocks apart from each other. Like right now, maybe 4.
That's wild. I'm mildly disappointed that y'all aren't actually recording this in the same room.
It's too dark there. I'm old.
Yeah, you can't see.
Gosh, are you kidding me? You see all these lights I need?
Matt, since you've been here, have you seen a football game? Have you gone to one?
Yeah, one.
Okay, good.
One in all these years. I almost went a few weeks
in
ago.
all those moons.
I couldn't do it.
At least you did once.
I did one. They lost.
Did you take a controller and like pretend to play?
Yeah, I
From the
recruited for them.
stands.
It was wild. So wild.
Did you win? Anything else noteworthy? What else have you been up to, nerd wise?
Oh,
Reading?
sleeping.
Sleeping?
I'm in a book club. We're reading through Brandon Sanderson books.
We've got somebody who's reading something. Somebody who's reading something.
What? Say what?
Yeah, Luke wanted to cut this last
Oh, really?
episode.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, and I was like, no,
Reading.
we need to keep the reading. And I'm so glad.
Well,
Did I say we should cut it? I don't think I said that.
Am I going to disappoint you that it's an audiobook? Is that okay?
No.
No, it counts.
Okay.
It totally counts.
Ooh. So we're currently in the Stormlight archives. We're reading through all the Brandon Sanderson books.
Dope.
And we're on Words of Radiance, which is the second book in the Stormlight archives. We've read through all the Mistborn that's currently out. I believe all 5, 7, 6, whatever. All there's the first batch and then the
There's
second
a lot
batch.
of them.
Yeah, we've been through all those. We've been through a couple of the standalone ones, and now we're in Stormlight archives. And I'm kind of slacking this month. These books are, if you've never read a Brandon Sanderson book, these books are they're long. They're very long, even on Audible. Let's see here.
How many hours?
Oh my gosh. On
45.
1.35 speed remaining. I'm sorry. I'm listening on 1.35 speed.
Okay.
I still have 34 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh,
On normal speed, it's like a 46-hour book. 40 somewhere. It is a very long book. And so we've split these books into 2 months, like first half, second half of the book, because it's a lot.
that is a lot.
It's a whole lot.
Mhm.
So,
But I hear really great things about Brandon Sanderson.
if you like high fantasy and like stuff like that, like you're all in. You're all in. Now there's some like different kind of genres, which way you want to go with that. Like, do you like more like mystery and like detective type work? You know, you probably want to not do Stormlight archives. You probably want to do like the other one I just said that I'm blanking on the name right now.
Mistborn.
Mistborn. Yeah, there you go. Especially the
I almost said
second
Mistwind.
area.
That's a game.
The second era. So yeah, they're all really good. So yeah, I have been reading something. Boom, roasted.
That's great. We've had people that read stuff.
I said
It's
boom,
fine.
roasted, Luke. Take it. Can't cut it
Well,
now.
okay, fine. Technically, it was listening to, but it's fine.
Okay, well,
No, it counts because we've talked about this before as well. Audiobooks definitely count.
mhm.
They count.
See,
And I
if
do
Luke
need.
went back and listened to the episodes, he would know.
I need
Yeah,
to
he
start
won't do
taking
it.
some
He won't do
recommendations
it.
too, because I still have 12 Audible credits that I need to
Whoa, okay.
Redwall is pretty digestible and a good one.
How much do you want?
use. Post them in the comments. Just give me all your recommendations in the comments. There we go.
There's this book series called Harry Potter. It's about this magic kid. I don't know.
Magic.
Some
Kid.
people like it.
I've heard of it before. We
Yeah.
read a lot in this house of Harry Potter. My youngest is on book 2 for her first time. My wife's reading it to her. So
Awesome.
she's
Nice.
read through all the other 7 with the other 4 kids. So like this is like the last hurrah.
That's
So
awesome.
it's a little sad, little gets you in the heart. But we're gonna like we typically like stretch it out so they're not like we don't just read them back to back. Especially she's only 7. We're not gonna really read the later books until she's a little bit older, anyways.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
they do get a little darker. So
And what's great is that you're reading the books to them so that they can know that Harry Potter in the books is kind of a tool.
oh yeah,
Like, he is not the
He's-
same as movie Harry Potter.
no, the movies are garbage. I'm sorry if you all like the movie. Whoever's listening, I'm sorry. The movies are
Woo!
there. If you've read the books, especially the movies are they're not very good. I'm sorry. If you like them, you may enjoy them. That's fine. For me and my house, we will not watch. We'll watch the movies. We
We will
usually
read the
watch.
books.
We'll read the books and then we'll watch the movie, and everyone will be like, "Oh, they skipped all of this, and why'd they do that? That was dumb." Like, so, yeah,
You got to do it the other way. You got to watch the movies and then be like, "Oh, I like this," and then you read the books and you're like, "Wow, there's so much more."
No,
No? Okay.
no way.
All right.
So, Luke, there you go. You have 7 books to get caught up on, and maybe an 8 if you want to.
Well,
watch,
I was
listen
going to
to
say I
Cursed
watched the
Child.
movies, but
You didn't.
the garbage.
You didn't.
Oh man. Well then, Matt, what's coming up? What's around the corner? Though I do feel like we do have something that we have teased to talk about in your recent time.
Yeah. Well, I can
LTN.
mention what's coming, and then we can go back to what has happened. Back. Yeah.
Okay.
So
are we time traveling right now?
Yes. Basically, we're in the present. We're going to go to the future, and then we'll go back to the
back to the
past.
Future.
Back to the and then, yeah. So in just a few weeks here, I don't even know what day it is.
Same. I believe it's a Wednesday.
It's a day that whenever you're listening to this podcast, it's that day. We'll pretend. So pretty soon, or in the past, maybe in the middle of November, is NCMS in beautiful green and probably cold Colorado Springs, Colorado. At the name, what's the name of the castle? Erie Castle. We're at a castle in Colorado Springs, and I'm really looking forward to it. So
Glen Erie, isn't it Glen Erie?
Yeah, okay. I was really
Something
close. I was really close.
That
so
was
that's
really
coming
good.
up in the future.
I
If you haven't
Googled it
signed
yet.
up for it, like you're running out of time here. By the time this comes out, like we're a mere weeks or days from the time it's happening. So love for you to be there. Luke will be there. I'll be there. You gonna be there? You're not gonna be. Are you gonna be there?
Michael won't, unfortunately.
Me,
Well,
I will
maybe.
not.
Maybe
He'll be there in spirit.
I'll let you edit a podcast there if you want to.
Okay.
Okay, or be on a podcast, whatever you
Fly
want.
me
to
out there. I'll do it. I'll do whatever y'all want if you fly me out.
Ugh.
That's the problem.
You can't. You have conflicting schedules.
Well, it's it was
It's
a
some
friend of mine
money.
is getting married.
Oh, I
And
think
so
he's
we're
getting married
making a
at the
trip
Glen
for
Erie.
that. So yeah, I know.
Maybe next time. Anyway,
Next time for sure. Yeah.
I would
Next year.
love for you all to be there and hang out and learn some stuff about how to love nerds better. That's just a really broad overview. So if you want more information, go to ncmsummit.com. Right?
And we'll have upcoming episodes that are pretty heavily focused on NCMS as well. So
We should
stick
have
around
one
for those, for
episode
sure.
before NCMS, and then one more episode besides this one, and then we'll have someone on to talk about their experience there, what games they played, and what happened. So we'll definitely get more on that. So sign up.
Dope.
You heard it from Matt first.
Make it happen. But this past earlier in the month, late last month, I was able to go to England, flew into London. I have a friend that former coworker friend who works for the mission organization there. And Bubba and I got a chance to meet her crew, her staff, and learn about what they're doing, and how they're doing it. I'm trying not to give too many details because I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, which sounds weird, but just know that we met with a mission organization. And if you want to talk more about that, we can talk off the podcast, but that was really great. But then we went down to Frankfurt, Germany, and helped do a church launch event for Nurch. That's Nurch Nerd Church with our friends from Frankfurt. They have been building relationships with the locals there for a few years now, a year to 3 years. I can't remember what they said. Long enough where it's enough time where they're invested in the people's lives. And this was one of their launch parties to kind of celebrate their home churches that the home church are going to start doing. So we showed up at this church in Frankfurt that were allowed to use. They had friends there in the afternoon, and for 6 hours these nerds came. About 60 of them showed up. We played board games, we played video games, we played retro video games. I got to meet the retro boys, and so I got a picture with the retro boys, and Bubba and I are the sometimes super retro bros, and so it was this weird this weird thing, which is really cool. But they served barbecue to these people, and during about the middle of it, Philip got up and he gave about a 20 to 30 minute just little sermon about what it is they're doing, why they're doing it, why it's important, and like a really broad overview of it. So there were 16 unbelievers who showed up at this event, and like you could have heard a pin drop during this sermon. Like they were all just locked in and focused. And I talked to Philip afterwards, and he was like, I expected people, like some people to listen, but what I expected like people to keep playing games while I did this. And so I had a guy next to me who translated the entire thing for me because I don't speak German. This unbeliever just like he laid it all out, and I was like,
wow.
Man, it was really awesome.
That's cool.
And so their hopes are, this event lasted 6 hours, and they did, like I said, barbecue games, cocktails. They had a harp player come in and play Zelda music and like, video game music.
What?
I know, like
so
it was
cool.
like legit, like so cool. They had some church people from South Carolina. If you're listening, I'm sorry, maybe it was North Carolina. One of the Carolinas who did the barbecue. They did like brisket and pulled pork and
Probably North
wings
Carolina.
and all that. So like,
Yeah, if it was mustard based, it's South Carolina. If it was, brisket, that's more of a North Carolina.
okay, then
thing.
we'll say it's North Carolina then. Thank you. Yeah, so it was really cool, and like it was really encouraging to see like how much time they put into these people's lives and how like they just responded. And I just was chatting with our German friends afterwards, and I was like, man, like it feels like you doing food and games and drinks, like they were just like invested, like because like you earned the right to speak to them. He's like, yeah, like doing food and drinks and games, like that was very high on our list because like in Germany, like that's pretty like common. Like if you want someone to come and pay attention, like you feed them, you give them drinks, you entertain them in some way. And then they're in. So, it was really awesome. And I'm already looking forward to next year. And that was like only a partial reason why we were going there. Like the main reason we're going is like, we're going to Essen Spiel. And so we spent this Sunday there and like, you know, helped out and celebrated, and it was awesome. And then we learned our games that we're supposed to teach. We were working with the op, and 6 of us drove up on the Autobahn, nice. Over 100 miles per hour in kilometers. That was a lot. I had to like look at my phone and be like, how fast are we going? And it was fast.
In your rental car?
It wasn't a rental car. Well, it was like borrowed because they work with City to City. If you all know City to City, Tim Keller's thing. Okay, well,
oh, cool.
City to City, like they have they're connected somehow. So someone from there allowed them to borrow the vehicle. And so it was a borrowed car, but it was a minivan. It went fast still. It was surprising. So we
Dude,
went
minivans are dope. I love
Yeah,
them.
it was fast.
I grew up driving a minivan, so.
Meow. And so we went up to Essen Spiel. And if those of you who don't know, this is the largest board game convention in the world. Now, if you've been to Gen Con and you're like, there were so many people at Gen Con, and there were, I would even say that, so many people at Gen Con. Like Gen Con this year was probably only 74,000 people.
Only, he says.
Only 74, maybe 78. It's somewhere in there. I actually haven't looked at the numbers. Over 70,000, okay? Last year at the Spiel, they did over 190,000 people. This year, they sold out. This is the first time they ever sold out. And there were estimates that there were 250,000 people at this convention.
Oh my God.
And so like we went in and we worked with the op. We've made friends with them. They want us there. They trust us. Like we learned their games, and we looked for ways to love and serve them. And we did this by knowing their games, taking away a lot of their responsibilities, like of being present on the floor, teaching games. Like, hey, we got this. We're going to take care of everything that you would need to worry about. And just building that trust, like, because we love them and we want them to trust us. So, spent 4 very full days teaching games. If you want to learn Aang's Destiny at the Avatar game, you just let me know. I can teach you, no problem. Have I ever watched the series? I haven't, but I feel kind of guilty about that because I pretended like I did when I was teaching the games, because you pick things up along the way that you kind of work into your pitch for the game. Yeah. And so I was able to like joke with these people. Like I knew what I was talking about, but they loved it. And so now I kind of feel bad because I haven't ever seen it. My kids have all seen it.
How many cabbage jokes?
Only one cabbage joke. That was because that card doesn't come in until box 2. and we only did box 1.
Okay.
So
okay, good to know.
it was like things like we're gonna start with you, Sokka, because Aang and Appa are still frozen in the beginning of season 1. And they'll be or like we're gonna be going through these deck of slightly misunderstood villains, and they're like, oh, they are misunderstood.
Wow.
And so like just
You're
like,
natural.
anyways, it was really good. So I taught that for a full weekend. Like we looked for ways to love and serve the nerds that were there as well. Had some really good conversations with people. Like, I'm tired. It's day 4. It's Sunday. I've been going now for 2 weeks in Europe, and like just tired, and like just these conversations that people just kept asking me questions, and they wanted to know more about why I'm here, what I'm doing, what I believe, if I go to church every week. And I was like, man, like these aren't things I usually push when I'm in a booth, especially because like I'm really there first and foremost to like love and serve the company, like the game company.
Yeah.
Like I kind of make it a thing like I don't like proselytize in the booth. Like that's just, but if questions come up, like I'll answer questions. So it was just really like surprising and good. And now I'm invited to Amsterdam anytime I want to stay at someone's house. So I have their number. Like really good, like really good stuff. Like, just listening and like listening to their stories too, while we played a game called Stock Exchange where you're like buying and harvesting flowers. So yeah, it was like really good overall. Like, Luke, I'm going to say this, and you may not believe me. I don't know. I think that's my favorite show.
I don't know whether to believe you or not because I've never been yet. So
you should
I don't
believe
believe
me.
you.
You don't believe me? Okay. No. Well, the food is incredible. The people are all very kind.
Yep. I believe all of this.
Yeah. Even with 250,000 people, it was really good. So, hoping to make it happen again next year. We'll see.
Hopefully I'll be there
You
next
mentioned
year.
having some conversations. Did you have any like really great or impactful conversations with people? Did you get chances to like get into the gospel or
this conversation I was talking about, like it really was like how my life was and how I was changed after becoming a Christian. And like even like the reasons why like I even started going to church, and they were like, oh, you were 16, like that's actually a good age, like because you're making like you're able to make your own decisions, you're not forced into stuff. And I was like, that's what I feel like. Now, have I grown a lot since then? Absolutely. And like being able to kind of talk through what that looked like. And it was like, again, like I don't usually push these things, especially in a booth. Really I really want to just build relationships first. And those conversations come from those relationships. Like that's where I've earned the right to speak truth into their lives. These people went from 0 to 100, like just because like they're curious and they want to know. I'm like, hey, you're asking me questions. I'm going to go ahead and share because I just feel like it's the right thing to do. And just like trying to listen to the spirit move, like, and like being willing. I don't ever want to be like pushy because I don't know. We all know Christians who want to push their beliefs. Like oftentimes they're not going to be listened to. And so like, I really want to make sure it's authentic.
Yeah. We're training our team for PAX Unplugged coming up in December. And I tell our team every time we meet that like, hey, start now praying for the people that you're going to come across and pray for the opportunities that like for God to show you those opportunities. Because sometimes you have conversations like Matt is talking about. Other times you bring up the church or Jesus and like people turn and walk away.
Peace. Yeah.
And so it's always encouraging when you can have a conversation like that. But every interaction, even if you're just talking about your favorite anime or something,
slightly misunderstood villains,
or that.
Right. Yeah. And I know that typically we're going to go to these shows and like it's going to be like I might see a person and then next show Luke might see the person, and that relationship carries over between us because we are Love Thy Nerd. Oh, I saw you all at last show. Matt was great. Mm-hmm. He bought me a dinner one time. You're Luke. I already trust you because you're a part of that. So
yeah,
there you go. So yeah, Essen was wonderful and everyone should go. Start saving your pennies.
I'm starting now. I'm blocking my entire month of October out next year.
Sell your Audible credits. I don't know. Actually, I know if you probably can't.
You want them? Can I sell them?
I can't hear you. What? You're breaking up.
We can try. Cool, Matt. Dude,
There you go.
that was the first time I heard anything from Essen yet, because like we just haven't had the time to talk yet.
Surprise!
So this was great.
Yeah, I've been busy playing Zelda, so
I've been busy with everything else.
yeah,
Not playing games?
Pulling
Overwatch.
No, whatever. Staying up till 1:30.
He's been living in Pelican Valley or Pelican Town.
Yeah,
Pelican
or
time.
there or whatever Overwatch is. Overwatchville.
Overwatchville. Yep, that's the one.
Mhm.
I've been all over.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining us here on LTN Pulse. It's really great meeting you.
Yeah,
actually getting to talk face to face over camera instead of
pixel
via
to pixel. Yeah,
Twitch. Yeah, exactly. Right. But it is awesome to learn about all the awesome, like the cool stuff that's going on, even overseas.
Mhm.
And I think the continual sort of like hype that's been running through a lot of the recent LTN Pulse stuff is upcoming in CMS. Like it's kind of a big deal because it's awesome. And
Yeah.
I'm excited even just to be watching the live streams and being there in spirit with y'all and keeping up with all the cool stuff that's going to be happening with that. So yeah,
be great.
We're getting excited. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on yet another episode of LTN Pulse as we explore what people in the Love Thy Nerd community are reading, watching, playing, experiencing, the things that are going on in this really great ministry. If you'd like to become part of this community and join in on what's happening here, check out the Discord. You can find out about that, get connected to the Discord at lovethynerd.com/Discord or their Facebook community. You can go to Facebook and search Love Thy Nerd, or if you want to go through the Love Thy Nerd website, lovethynerd.com/Facebook.
Oh, fancy.
Wow.
Right? I'm not gonna sing the praises of the website this time. I've done it every other episode. I'm just going right, just telling you where it is. But if you like what you heard here, give us a subscribe. We're everywhere you find podcasts and on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, maybe give us a little, little like, a little thumbs up, ring that little bell.
Swing.
Yeah.
That's the sound.
This is dead on the sound. And last but not least, if you are interested in partnering with Love Thy Nerd or joining the team in some way, you can go to lovethynerd.com/partner and you can get connected with either of these guys. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can hear or hear because Matt's this way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did I get it right?
No,
it's
you
off my
didn't.
screen.
It's fine though.
Oh, no,
other
this way or this way. There we go. Now I got it. Either of these two guys.
Yeah.
And, then partner with them in the ministry. And that's going to be it. Thanks again for watching. I am Michael.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.